Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel that takes you deep inside the San Francisco 49ers. I'm your host, Jack Hammer. Today, I wanted to take a look back at Deebo Samuel's season in 2022 and the role that the receiver and 49ers head coach Kyle Shanahan have in getting that turned around here for 2023. You know, you look back to the 2021 season, Deebo Samuel was on top of the world. He had just finished one of the best receiving years in 49ers franchise history, over 1,400 yards receiving, nearly 2,000 yards of total offense. Went into the offseason, got a big dollar contract, came out in 2022, and it was a stinker. Just over 600 yards total receiving, and as Deebo Samuel himself told us during 49ers OTAs, it was awful, and it was awful in every way. And it's hard to argue with him, because when you look at what he did the year before, like I said, it was a big downturn, and you start to look through what led into it, and for Deebo Samuel, it was just being unprepared. He also mentioned that. He talked about, you know, how the contract negotiations, there were just a lot of things going on that distracted him, that kept him from getting into his normal routine, and that's definitely played a big role in it. And to Deebo Samuel's credit, he's taken that and he's really working on focusing on not allowing that to happen again this year. It's hard when you look through social media not to come across a video of Deebo Samuel working out, getting ready for this 2023 season. You know, another part of this whole thing is Kyle Shanahan's role in the downturn. Yes, Samuel was out of shape. Yes, Samuel had some issues with different things. But, you know, you go through that and you look at what happened. And according to Deebo Samuel, he and Kyle Shanahan had a long meeting. They watched the film of last season together. They talked about it. And they decided that they were going to put it behind them. You know, looking at that tape, Deebo Samuel doesn't want to have another year like that. And here's what Kyle Shanahan needs to do in order to not allow that to happen as well. You know, you look at Deebo Samuel's career in San Francisco, and it's vastly different in the way that he's utilized. You know, Deebo Samuel is one of the most electric players in the league once he gets the ball in his hands. But where he gets the ball in his hands, I think, plays a big role in his success. You look back to 2019 and 2021, the two best seasons of Deebo Samuel's career. His average depth of target was over 7.5 yards. It was 7.5 back in 2019, just under 8.5 in 2021. Those two seasons, 2019 and 2021, Deebo Samuel averaging over 16.5 yards per reception. Now, you compare that to what happened in 2020 and 2022 when Samuel saw his average depth of target plummet. In 2020, his average depth of target was just 2.2 yards per reception. And in terms of 2022, the season that we're just coming off of, it was just 4.3 yards per target for Deebo Samuel, and that's way too short, and that plays a big role. The fact that he was actually even able to get close to 12 yards per catch last year really, again, goes back to how good Deebo Samuel is once he gets the ball in his hands. And so the role that Kyle Shanahan plays in all this, as I mentioned, is he needs to get Deebo Samuel down the field, get him away from those linemen, get him away from the linebackers, get him downfield so where he can catch the ball. He's working against cornerbacks and safeties and those kind of guys that he's shown that he can beat and run through their arm tackles, make them miss, those types of things. It's much easier to make guys miss once you're downfield than it is having to start, you know, right around the line of scrimmage, beat linebackers, and now you're into the secondary and you're beating all these other guys, and it makes it hard for you to get those big breakaway plays like we've seen. So even last season, if you look at the big plays for Deebo Samuel, the touchdown against the Rams, that's a downfield throw for Samuel. He was about 8-9 yards past the line of scrimmage on that one. That's a nice spot for him to catch the ball. Beats a cornerback, beats a safety, and it's a touchdown. Go back to the game against the Seattle Seahawks in the NFC wildcard round, where he goes out and he's able to catch the ball in the flat, make somebody miss down the sidelines for a big touchdown. So that's where Kyle Shanahan needs to change things up when he looks at what he's doing with Deebo Samuel. Get him the ball down the field, let him work at that second level. You do that, plus the work ethic that Deebo Samuel has shown this offseason, and it looks like he is getting ready for a big 2023. Take it for what it's worth. Hey, I'd love to hear your opinion on this. Let me know what you think about Deebo Samuel's performance the last couple of years, the role that Kyle Shanahan plays in that as well. Thank you all so much for tuning in. If you could do me a favor before you leave, please hit that like button and also subscribe if you haven't already done so. And when you do that, also turn your notifications, because I promise you, with training camp coming up in just 2 weeks, you're not going to want to miss any of the updates that are happening right here on Inside the 49ers with Jack Hammer. Thanks again so much for watching, everybody. Have a great rest of your day, and we'll talk with you soon.